Hey there, my friends. Welcome to another full video here at Home Race, where we bring you a summary of everything that happened in the last free practice session of this weekend, Free Practice 3, which is usually very quiet, with teams opting to save some of their cars. But this weekend, it ended up being very important due to the problems we had in the Friday sessions. But before we show you all the details, I invite you to subscribe and activate notifications, since that's the only way you won't miss any details about this race weekend. And if you like this video, leave a like to support our work. Well, without further ado, let's get to what happened on the track, where before the cars even started their laps, we had a lot of news behind the scenes, with Max Verstappen having to change his engine for this weekend after technical problems he had on Friday, including whether he will go to the back of the grid because of this. And also George Russell, who had problems with his car after an accident and needed to use a lot of used parts for this weekend. And because of this, in the first few minutes, Verstappen and Russell went for their laps, with Russell returning to the garage after a reconnaissance lap, but Verstappen continuing in search of fast laps, trying to make up for the loss he had on Friday. In these first few laps, the driver complained a lot about the lack of grip at the rear of his car, which was preventing him from doing good laps at this early stage. In these first few minutes, after the first few laps, Russell was the fastest, with Verstappen very close in second and Hamilton in third. More than half of the grid did not have fast laps in these first 15 minutes. Gradually, more cars started to come out, most of them on soft tires, practicing at qualifying pace, with the two Ferraris proving their good form and immediately taking the lead in the times, with the two Mercedes cars just behind and Verstappen half a second slower in sixth. With 40 minutes remaining, Liam Lawson almost caused a stoppage when he spun at the end of the stadium before the main straight, but fortunately managed to recover and stay in the session. At that moment, Lando Norris did his first fast lap and moved into third place. With exactly 30 minutes of practice, Sainz was the leader, Leclerc was second and Norris third, with Perez setting a better lap and jumping to fourth place, half a second behind the leader. Verstappen spent a long time in the pits after his first laps, with Red Bull working on his car in an attempt to perform better in qualifying shortly. At Ferrari, things are going so well that even when the mechanic falls to the ground, he gets up as if everything was planned and even gives everyone a thumbs up saying that everything is okay. Tell me, what did you think of this beautiful crash? Back on the track, Franco Colapinto was doing some very good laps at qualifying pace, and Yuki Tsunoda also managed an interesting pace, getting closer to the leaders, even using medium tires. Towards the end, the state cars still couldn't achieve acceptable performance, with the Alpines and Aston Martins also below expectations, with them fighting for the last places. With 15 minutes to go, Verstappen finally went out on the track and set the fastest time so far, even though he still struggled a bit in some corners. With 7 minutes to go, the track was full, with almost everyone trying a few more fast laps with new tires, confirming the final adjustments before qualifying in the race. In this final part, Verstappen, who was in fourth place at the time, said on the radio that he had no grip on either the front or the rear with soft tires, a not very promising sign before qualifying. And after all these attempts, Oscar Piastri was the fastest, with Norris in second and Carlos Sainz in third. Verstappen was fourth. Perez did not make it into the top 10, and the Mercedes car seemed to be a little behind Ferrari and Mclaren in qualifying pace. Well, that concludes the coverage of the last free practice session for the Mexican GP, with a very strong McLaren and Ferrari 1-2. So, tell me in the comments, what are your predictions for the qualifying session in the near future?